JB, guest suggestion, Tom Steyer. What are his views on education? Does he want to implement a wealth tax? Is the concept of retirement outdated? Perhaps he could grant endowments to pro-impeachment podcasts. I mean, all right, let's just go through this. Like, I feel like we could actually do a 24-hour marathon where all we do is talk about the different things that Tom Steyer could do with that $100 million that would not only be more positive than running for president, we could dedicate like 18 hours to what he could, or maybe 22 hours to what he could do that would be more positive with that $100 million. Just using every one of his platforms, if he planks on his platform, if he puts it
You
up.
should be tweeting that. I just want really quick. You should be tweeting it in a respectful way at the campaign account. I earlier I didn't add him, but you can. I said, look, give Andrew Gillum $20 million in Florida. I mean, he should be inundated.
There
with
is
literally millions of more positive things he could do.
Yes. And then I would take the other 2 hours of that 24-hour marathon to talk about how detrimental his spending $100 million in this campaign is going to be, just in terms of like the negative impacts. I don't know if he thinks he's doing a message campaign or if he thinks he's going to win, but there's no point in his message. And he's got no business being president. But this guy could go in and turn 2, maybe 3 states' legislatures with $100 million. He could possibly win the Senate back for Democrats with $100 million. He could start a campaign to get the next president of the United States, if he's a Democrat or she's a Democrat, to stack the Supreme Court. I mean, there's so many things that he could do with $100 million to promote fighting climate change that would be, this is just a classic case of either a guy who is just so unbelievably narcissistic that he cannot see literally like beyond his own nose, or a guy who is so narcissistic that he's surrounded with people who can't see beyond their own wallet. Here is Tom introducing himself to America as a presidential candidate. We're not going to get through the whole thing because it's frankly like it is.
It's exhausting.
It's a perfectly non-offensive television ad that would cause no one to do anything other than note that they had just watched it, and I don't even know that effect would last more than like 20 minutes.
Tom Steyer, one of the most influential activists in Democratic Party politics.
Is the founder and president of Next Gen America.
I think what people believe is that the system has left them. I think people believe that the corporations have bought the democracy.
Pause it. The moment they do that Dutch angle, that side angle, is when you know that this is all just about, it's just about like people, consultants lining their pockets and spreading the cash around to other people who will give them jobs in the future. That's the dead giveaway right there.
Corporations have bought the democracy, that the politicians don't care about or respect them, don't put them first, are not working for them, but are actually working for the people who have rigged the system. Really what we're doing is trying to make democracy work by pushing power down to the people.
California voters are getting a chance to do what California lawmakers failed to do.
Prop 56 got a lot of support at the polls.
The oil company sponsored a new ballot initiative to halt California's new law.
I was born in 1957. I grew up right in the middle of the Civil Rights Revolution and the Vietnam War. The underlying injustice in America was coming under attack. My father graduated from Yale Law School at 21, started being a lawyer, then he went into the Navy because of Pearl Harbor, And then at the end of the war, they sent him over to be assistant to the chief prosecutor of Nuremberg. I think my father looked at being in the service or being at Nuremberg as like, you have your duty, you do it. My parents were very uncompromising about doing the right thing.
Steyer and his wife are worth an estimated $1.5 billion. They've pledged to give half of their fortune to charity.
We signed the Giving Pledge, which is a promise to give away half of your wealth while you're alive to good causes. We have a society that's very unequal, and it's really important for people to understand that this society is connected. If this is a banana republic with a few very, very rich people and everybody else living in misery, that's a failure. The lawyers have basically gotten the Supreme Court to say that corporations are people, and therefore they have all the rights in the Constitution given to people. Now, obviously, corporations don't have hearts or souls or futures. They don't have children. They have a short time frame, and they really care about just making money. If you give them the unlimited ability to participate in politics, it will skew everything because they only care about profits. You know, you look at climate change. That is people who are saying, we'd rather make money than save the world. That's an amazing statement, and it's happening today, and there are politicians supporting that. I mean, I think 82,000 people died last year of drug overdoses. If you think about the drug companies, the banks screwing people on their mortgages, it's thousands of people doing what they're paid to do. Almost every single major intractable problem, at the back of it, you see a big money interest.
Listen.
So I endorse Bernie Sanders.
Well, exactly. Like, why wouldn't you go out and, how does he not find a candidate who is not saying that in this campaign? Like, why does it have to be him? And why does he? It's just look. He can spend his money any way he wants, but it will be detrimental to getting rid of Donald Trump.
Hi, this is Tom Steyer's dad. I always insisted on doing right, as you said in that ad, and this campaign is wrong, son.
Yeah, the one that matters is me. I'm the only one that matters.
Yeah,
Exactly. Do you see how you sound like him, even though you hate him so much? Tom, this is your father. It's a very selfish and reckless move. We all want to be the Top Gun and run for president, but there's other more constructive things to do. Thank you. We still do Seder up here.
Exactly. Jeez, it's really just enraging. It's just enraging. This guy could be a hero.
He could be a multiple hero. He could be protecting Larry Krasner from having his power stripped away as a district attorney. He could be flipping state houses. He could be coming up with a strategy for fighting gerrymandering. He could also just be investing in electing progressives to the House. He could run. Isn't there a Senate seat opening up in California? I'm even willing to give him a friggin' Senate seat.
It's unbelievable.
It is insane. The delusional and it's even more. You know, what's even more infuriating is that for somebody who's just like very existence as a billionaire should not be as a billionaire, not as a person, obviously, but as a billionaire, he does seem like the nice type. Yeah, and it's even more maddening. I mean, look, say what you will. I mean, somebody pointed this out. Plenty of people have been pointing me out. The Koch brothers. I mean, my God, these total sociopaths who strategically deploy their money.
Well, to be fair, one of them, I can't remember if it was Charles or David, bought himself a libertarian ticket. Yeah, and he realized he got that out of his system, right? And he's like, okay, now I know what I just got to do. I don't need to be the guy. I just need to be the money.
Son, in 1980, one of the Koch brothers ran for president as his own quest of narcissistic
while
wish
we're at
fulfillment.
it, why do they come out and say 100 million? You got $1 billion. Why don't you drop 200 million, you cheap bastard? Like, honestly, like this is the thing I don't
believe we're in that deep of a crisis.
Listen, I know it's a crisis, but I'm not going to spend 1/5 of my fortune That's going to leave me with only $800 million, and I promised to give 400 that away. Okay, now we're in 400.
Yeah, now all of a sudden we're like a Mitt Romney all of a sudden here. Now we're just getting pathetic.
Million. I mean, just look at this barn that I'm in. Here, good. Pop it up here. This barn.
Stopping.
Look at this barn here. This barn I'm in, where we shot this. Okay.
Progress. Stopping.
This barn, I know. Look. Okay. I had this barn redone, and that was like $850,000. So now I'm down to $399 in terms of million, and my boat. Like, there's a ton of stuff. 200. No, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. 105 million.
Tom, this is your mother. This is the wrong thing to do. Your father always insisted on doing the right thing, and this is wrong. You can help that very nice man, Eric Holder, help with the district redistricting efforts, Tom.